foremost, welcome back, witches, wizards, and muggles. Get ready, because today we are reviewing Hedwig in a cage. Let's go. Thought I was going to go through the wall on that one, but you heard it right. Yes, we're going to do a review of Hedwig in a cage. It's not technically going to be an unboxing because I've had this for years. I used to have it displayed proudly, but we moved up here and I haven't had an opportunity to take it out of the box and display it. But I think the time has come that I want to take it back out of the box, and I thought I would share it with everybody right now. So this box is so massive, I'm going to be all the way over here. Now, take a look at this box. This is a massive box that's already been opened. So we're just going to get right to it. I'm going to lay it down. Now keep in mind, I think this is already put together unless I took it apart. Okay, so this is in pieces. So right here we have the cage. I'm sorry, it's going to be pretty dusty. We have the stand at the bottom. But let's take this out the rest of the way. So we have this cage, and inside the cage is Hedwig. And for the bottom of the cage, we have the stand. I will clean it off right now. And we have the instructions. All right, now that we got the big things out of the box, I'll give you a little detail about what we have before we take this closer look. So right here, this is the perch that Hedwig would stand on. And we've got the Harry Potter trademark, Wizarding World, Universal Studios. This is a 2017. And this is special. I never noticed this. Created for Universal Studios. So, I've actually went around and went on Nova Collection, went online to look for this. And this seems to be an item sold exclusively by the Nova Collection, or by Universal Studios. And at the time when I bought it, it was $300. Right now, I think it's $160, somewhere around there. I'll put the link down below. And right here, we have the cage. Now, it's kind of brown in color. It's all metal. Listen. It's a nice cage. This right here, the directions specifically say, do not hang this on the ceiling, because this is just for looks. It will break. But it's brown in color. It's a fairly good cage. It looks legitimately like a bird cage. And here we have the most important piece, right? Because otherwise it would just be an empty cage. We have Hedwig. So, let's take this out of the box together. Or the styrofoam. This thing is amazing, guys. Take a look at this. One more. Oh, this thing is heavy. This thing is made out of resin. And here we have the majestic, beautiful Hedwig. Look at this. She is made of resin. She is very heavy. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. I don't know if she's solid resin or if it's styrofoam on the inside, resin coated. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But this thing is beautiful. And right now, let's take a closer look. And here we have, not quite put together, but pretty good picture of Hedwig completely immersed in this cage. Hedwig is just beautiful. We've got that green felt at the bottom, and that perch, if you can see it, it's wrapped in a brown rope. It is an amazing perch with an amazingly detailed Hedwig. You got the claws right there, the feathers, the multicolors, the beak, and the eyes. She's staring right at us. We got a nice brown color rings on the cage all the way down to the bottom. This thing is beautiful. I can't wait to give you a little bit more detail about this. Oh, when me and my fiance found this, we fell in love with it. So let's take a little closer look at this cage. Now this is a pure metal cage. It's all metal. There's no plastic. It's not extremely heavy, but it is heavy enough. I believe it stands at 20.5 inches tall and 9.5 inches wide from top to bottom with the base and everything. So it's a fairly good sized cage. But as you can see, there's just little, I don't even want to call them welds, but we'll call them welds for just the sake of the video. Little tiny welds here and there. It's not something that is built to hold. And the directions specifically say, like I said earlier, do not hang this from the ceiling because it's just kind of tacked on here for looks. But this is a very, very nicely well-made cage. And I do believe, like, if you had a bird, you could actually put a bird in here. It'd have to be a pretty small bird. But so let's go to the bottom, the stand, the perch. Okay, so here we have the perch. The first thing I notice about this is the rope, the twine that's raveled around the perch. And I believe it's hot glued in here. I could kind of see some of the adhesive on here, and it looks like it's sprayed to all be one color, so so that the adhesive matches the twine. And we got the perch right here. This is very sturdy. It's not flimsy. This is also metal. It's very good quality. We got a really good design on the legs of the perch. The bottom part is metal. It's not felt right here, but on the bottom, it's felt where we have the Harry Potter and the Universal Studios. It's really nice, really soft. It's a really good color. I love everything about this. And this also it's got a pretty decent weight to it. This is all metal right here too. They didn't go plastic. They didn't go cheap with this. And that's the one thing I like about the Noble Collection. Even though it's sold through Warner Brothers Studio or Universal Studios, it's still quality because it comes from the same manufacturer. It comes from the same place, sold by different companies. But it doesn't matter because it comes from the same maker and they know what they're doing. So now let's get Hedwig in on this. I know Hedwig. I know I wanted to show them the cage first, but you have to save the best for last. Don't look at me like that. I told you I would show you in detail. I'm going to do it right now. Actually, they're waiting. Stop talking. Oh, sorry. So here's Hedwig right here in all of her glory. Look at her eyes. She's looking right at you. So this is very, very well detailed. Like I said, it's made of resin. I wouldn't say that it's solid, but I don't know if this was solid. I wouldn't know by the weight. I just don't know how much a solid piece of resin this size would weigh. It could have styrofoam inside. I don't know, but it's pretty good. I would say don't drop her because you'd hurt her feelings. I told them don't drop you. But just the detail in the feathers. And we got some multicolor right here. This is really, I love it. And down at the bottom, we have her claws. And we got the holes that she sits on the perch. And her tail and her feathers. Look at that detail in the wings with that tail right there. This is just amazing. I love it. It's heavy. Like I said, this isn't some cheap prop. It's really nice. If you're going to get any type of prop replica of Hedwig, this is what you would want to get. I wouldn't want to get a plush. I wouldn't want to get a miniature. I would stick with Hedwig in a cage. Like I said, I would put that link down at the bottom. But right now, let's put this thing together. So before we put it together, we have the instructions right here. And I believe, note, front of cage. Do not over tighten the bolts. The cage hanger is not a functional hanger. Decoration only. So it says right here, plain black and white. Please, if you're going to hang this from the ceiling, I would suggest, before we put this thing together, I want to show you what I did. Because I make my displays. I went out and got me a piece of wood, put some slats in it so that it kind of looks like my wand display right here. I put some eye hooks in it, and you would simply hang it up from the ceiling. It looked really nice hanging up from the ceiling. I even had a chain guard going all the way around it in case she fell off, to kind of make it look a little bit more like, hey, hey, stay away from this. This is secret. This is special. This is top notch. This is high quality. Keep back. So I made this by hand, varnished, stained, sanded, resin. I'll drill all the holes. This is pretty heavy. This with that, I think I probably didn't need to, but I went in the attic and I put support on the beams just to make sure, you know, I don't want to ruin my replicas. Okay, so really the only tools that you're going to need for this is a pair of pliers, screwdriver, and your imagination. Now, the first thing I want to show you is when you go to put Hedwig on here, the perch is kind of leaned where she hangs on. So you will know it is wrong if you put her on and she's leaning over like she's trying to, what is going on over here? You don't want her like that because she'll fall over. And secondly, the cage would not fit over her. So these lean forward, so she goes on the opposite direction. Just like this. And you got her perfect right there. Now, this also comes with hardware, comes with little screws and little nuts. We've got those right here. And make sure the front of the cage, like kind of like where the door would be, is right here. So if you look at the rest of the cage, there's a big space in between that. Big, big space. So right here would be kind of like the door. Just make sure she's facing that. Line the holes up, and then we put our screws in. So I would kind of get these hand tightened up at first. That way you make sure all the holes are lined up. Then once you get that, go ahead and tighten them all up with a wrench. Just be careful not to over tighten it because the metal will bend, and it does say in the instructions, do not over tighten. But now we have Hedwig fully put together in her cage. So this is it. Hedwig fully put together in her cage. And I believe Hedwig herself is about 9.5 inches tall. And you can see there's pretty good head space from her head and the top. But this thing is amazing. It's gigantic. Here, I'll back up. I'll put it on my shoulder. So if I'm carrying her around, see, it's a pretty decent size. And I would say that she is bigger than my head. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's big from the top of the head down to my chin. But this thing, it's just amazing. And it's an amazing, another piece of collection to your property. Hedwig in a cage. This thing is amazing. It's Harry Potter's pride and joy. We all know her untimely death. Just trying to save Harry Potter, right? When they were trying to take him from, the rendezvous. They were trying to take him from Privet Drive down to the Burrow, and we all know what happened. But everybody, this is Hedwig in a cage, and like I said, be careful. Do not hang her up by that. Now let me show you real quick what she looks like on my platform. There she is on the platform. I wish the chains were hanging up because it does no justice. Each chain goes straight up, and then there's a chain that loops all around the whole thing as if it were real life. You cannot go past this point. But Hedwig in a cage looks just amazing. The detail, sorry that it's dirty, it's been in storage. The colors, it's just an amazing piece of Harry Potter to have in your home. Everybody loves Hedwig. Hedwig was Harry Potter's pride and joy. And one of the first things he got after he got his letter to Hogwarts. Alright everybody, and there we go. And I hope you learned two important lessons in this video. The first lesson was just how amazing Hedwig in a cage is. This is one of my most prized possessions. This is one of the first Harry Potter things that I started my collection with. And it actually has a lot of meaning to it. My first ever trip to Hogwarts at Universal Studios. So this holds a lot of memories for me. And the second lesson is the importance of keeping your boxes. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have the box, the styrofoam, and everything to protect her when I moved. But I hope you enjoyed my video. Like, share, subscribe, share this. Just share it to any Harry Potter lover you know. You never know who might be looking for Hedwig in a cage. Knock!